Hello, I would like to talk about my analysis of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead. The full title is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead. It's a movie, but it's also made as a play. The genre is comedy over the satire and irony and black humor. It takes place in Denmark at Helsingør at Kronborg. It's written in 1990, the movie. The major conflict is that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern tries to attempt to discover the cause of Hamlet's insanity and madness, and also the purpose of the why the world is as it is, and their own purpose in the world. Therefore, the theme is also identity, because they try to identify themselves with the world. There are four main characters. The first is of course Rosencrantz. He's a friend of Hamlet from university. He is like a partner or a good friend with Guildenstern. He tries to understand how the world works as it does in the universe and why he is what his role is in the earth, basically. He doesn't really think much about situations. He's a bit like floofy most of the time. He doesn't seem very present. And he's very playful and yeah. He lives in his own world, and he tends to be the follower of Guildenstern and just say what he says and think what he thinks and so on. Yeah. And then there are Guildenstern. He's also a friend of Hamlet from university. He's also like a partner, a good friend with Rosencrantz. He's like their leader in the relationship. He is very logical but also very maybe a bit not harsh, but he's a bit more logical than Guildenstern, basically, and he's a lot more negative. He also wonders about the universe and why we do as we do, but in another way than what Golden Rosencrantz does, because he's a bit more illogical, so he's a bit more factual than maybe Rosencrantz is. He's very concerned about Hamlet and asks a lot to why he does as he do. He's a bit dominating and he tends to look down upon Rosencrantz. He's like the other leader of the relationship. Then there is Hamlet, of course. He's the Prince of Denmark. He is friends with Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. He's very dramatic and becomes more and more insane throughout the play. He gets very mad at people all the time. He acts very ignorant and he's the better person and the better man of them all, even though he gets more and more crazy. He has a personal crisis, has very strange behavior, which confuses Rosencrantz and Guildenstern a lot, and they try throughout the play to figure out why he does what he do, but they don't talk much to him. They stay in the background all the time. There is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern here, and they're Hamlet here, and then they just they mix sometimes. But most of the time, they just stay apart. Then there's the other man who has a theater troupe who travels around the world from country to travel around the country and performs their play at a different place. Sorry, he meets Guildenstern and Rosencrantz in the forest, where he tries to talk them into performing with him and for them. But they don't want to hear that because they don't have the time, basically. He performs for Hamlet multiple times, and there is a suspicious tense around him throughout the play, as if he knows something we don't know, or that Rosencrantz Guildenstern doesn't know. So there's something suspicious about him. There isn't much mental action throughout the play. It's mostly physical action. But there isn't much action, since you mostly just follow Rosencrantz and Guildenstern as they observe Hamlet. There is not a lot of fighting during the different plays, but there is some fighting between in the plays that the theater performs, and also when Hamlet gets crazy, basically. The movie starts off by we see Rosencrantz and Guildenstern horse riding, and they stop, and Rosencrantz does this coin flip multiple times. I'll go back later to why he does that. It then skips over to the forest scene where they see the theater man, and he tries to convince them to perform for them, but they don't want to. And then it just randomly cuts over to the castle, where we finally see Hamlet. Yeah, and then we then follow Rosencrantz and Guildenstern around the castle, where they are trying to catch up and understand what is going on, and why Hamlet does as he do. They are then asked by the Danish royal couple to cure Hamlet's state of mind, and they have to help them figure out why he does as he do, and so on. They could just continue to run around the castle and keep watching this play. The play Hamlet, but also the troopers keep doing the very dramatic. They're then sent to England in the end with a letter that has Hamlet's death sentence on it. Hamlet then watches these letters and escapes from the boat, but then Guildenstern and Rosencrantz get sentenced instead. There is an inner and outer conflict between Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. He is very annoyed at Rosencrantz, who often yells at him and snaps at him, and they have a very hard time remembering which one is Rosencrantz, which one there's Guildenstern, which again leads back to the whole universe question, basically. A symbol could be the coin that he keeps flipping up and down at the beginning. He keeps flipping the coin up and down, and he keeps becoming heads. This could symbolize the randomness, the randomness of the movie. A coin would typically symbolize the material of the world, and it would often be something random that comes when you flip the coin. But when Rosencrantz does it, it is the same every time. This could symbolize that there might be something wrong with reality, and the whole question of how does the world work and why does the world work as it does. As I said, the play takes place at Denmark, at Helsingør, at Kronborg, and then at the end of the play at a boat towards where they are sailing towards England. It takes place in the 1500s, as many of Shakespeare's play does. The theater is absurd because there is no clear plot and very little logic throughout the play. Typically there would be a break with the third brawl, which there isn't in this play. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern movie has a very weird scene cut with no logical order, and the scenes are very superficial, and we don't see much in them. Since it has these illogical cuts, it leaves us confused, which is how they are feeling throughout most of the play. The story is based around Shakespeare's Hamlet. Hamlet is about a Danish prince who sees a ghost, which is dressed up as his father, who's dead. He tells him that his uncle has killed his father and that Hamlet must take revenge. He doesn't know what to do, and therefore stands in front of the dilemma. In the end, everyone dies except for Hamlet's friend Horatio and the Norwegian prince Fortinbras, who ends up getting the Danish throne at the end, which then re-established the whole universe. We then follow Rosencrantz and Guildenstern as they observe Hamlet and see how he gets more and more crazy, and they wonder about his behavior. So basically we have Rosencrantz and Guildenstern here, and we have Hamlet here, and it connects throughout the play, and they only meet a few times, and in the end it's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern who dies and not Hamlet, basically.